Who is that person that always believes in you? In those times of self-doubt, who do you go to find yourself? For most of you, it could be your mother, your father, a family member, or sometimes even a close friend. But for me, it was my godfather, Charlie. My godfather always believed in every passion I had. When I fell in love with history, he gifted me a documentary box series on the Civil War. All of the Civil War DVD documentaries, he gifted me that. When I fell in love with space, when I fell in love with astronomy, he gifted me a book about all the constellations on the planet that we found up to that date. And he even gifted me Cosmos by Carl Sagan. And when I fell in love with classic movies, he gifted me a box set of Alfred Hitchcock's best hits. No matter what I fell in love with, my godfather believed in me and always helped me. By the time I was in my senior year, I had reached a crossroads. I had nowhere to go. I don't know if I want to be an actor, a scientist, if I want to be a lawyer, or if I just didn't want to study at all. So during this time, I wanted to go to talk to him, but I couldn't. He was in the hospital. He had prostate cancer. So when I finally met him in one of his most ill times, my mother informed him of my decision, of how I wasn't sure what I was going to study. So he told me that he believed in me so much that he could tell me I could be like a lot of people who have many favorite activities. Like David Duchovny, who's an actor and who has a bachelor's degree in law. Or, most famously, like Ken Jeong, or as you know him as Mr. Chang on the Hangover series. He's a doctor and a comedian. So he showed me that really there was no limit to this world about what I could do. We talked for a long time that night, but when time came to go and visiting hours were up, he told me, when I get out of here, we're going to have a deeper conversation about your future. I can promise you that. 2 weeks later, he passed away. Those were his last words he ever said to me. I knew at that moment that I wanted to study medicine because I knew that I didn't want anyone to experience the empty void I felt that night, knowing that the last words were a cliffhanger for me. I knew that he would have been proud of my decision. He always saw me as a very studious person, that I could watch science with so much intrigue. And he knew, and I know that he would be proud today. Currently, I am studying a pre-med bachelor's with my decision to be a pediatrician because I want to help the children of Puerto Rico get a better future. It's been 3 years later, and I'm still waiting on that conversation. But I know that wherever he is, he's definitely proud of me, and I have no doubt in my mind that he would have gifted me my first stethoscope.